that just showed me, okay, I'm only going to use this when these things are maxed out and when I need them.
When we saw you training before, you've been big, right?
Yeah.
But then you did make a transition into, because like you were competing NPC, you were competing against a lot of other guys. How has that transition into utilizing some PEDs been for you? Why did you decide to do it? And how's that made a difference for yourself in your training?
So I decided to do it because no matter what, I see myself competing, and even if I wasn't competing in anything, I still would, I don't regret the choices I made, only because like I said, it's a mental thing. Even if I'm not preparing for something, I'm still challenged. I want to max myself out as much as I can as a human, as whatever I can, the best version of Kenny, physically, mentally, performance-wise, that's what I want, no matter what it's for. I don't care what I'm doing. So at 19, I kind of was talking to other people, and I mean, like after being here, like I came from baseball, which it's super, I wasn't doing it while I was playing, but like I was still getting accused of it and stuff, and it had a bad rap. Like in sports, one, they're not educated on it. They don't know what it is, what they're doing, what they're getting into, what they're talking about, and it has such a bad rap.
They also test for that in like baseball, right?
Yeah,
like, it's
right.
Like
so it is not allowed, but it just got such a bad rap. I was always like, it made me kind of like lean into it more. I was like, what is this stuff that everybody keeps like talking so bad about? Then when I got here, I was around people that not in a bad way. I'm not saying anybody influenced me at all. Because I was with Smokey, and at the time Smokey was natty and against it.
Yeah.
So
your episode is coming out right after Smokey's too, so it's like perfect.
Yeah, I want to talk about Smokey a little bit too after, but regarding the PEDs, so yeah, I mean, I'm open about it. There's no real, like, there wasn't a day where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to do it. It was kind of like, okay, I want to do this while I'm young. Like, I want to do this in my 20s. I want to bodybuild, powerlift. Who knows? Like, whatever it is, I want maximal recovery. I want to improve myself. I'm kind of an extreme person, like, personally.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really like hard for me. It's not like I was not thinking about it. It's not like I just was like, oh yeah, this is gonna get me big. Like I've been looking into steroids, everything from like a young age, like
Plus
15.
You've been training for
I have a story actually. When I was 12 years old, my mom and dad can vouch for this. I walked up to my doctor because I was obsessed with everything here, like the bodybuilding world, the powerlifting. I was like, oh, Larry, all these guys. I'm like, I just want to be like them. So I'm like, stupidly, I was like, steroids is the answer. So I go to my doctor because everybody's like, I'm like, where do you get this stuff? They're like, oh, you're a doctor. I'm like, all right. So I go into my doctor and I'm like, hey, I want steroids. I want to get on anabolic steroids. And he was like, he just looked at me so like, who is this 12-year-old kid that's like playing baseball? Like, who are you? And he gave me like a whole packet this big. And he was like so scared, and he gave me a whole packet, and I read it, and it was all about anabolic steroids. So from there, I read that.
Your doctor gave you an anabolic steroid handbook?
Yeah. I'm not joking. Because awesome. He was so scared that I was going to like try to go do it that he was like, oh, you need to be educated on it. So then I educated myself. From there on, just listening to other people talk about it, I was like, okay, this stuff, it's not like I'm going to take a shot of test and die. Like, I made sure I knew what was gonna happen, and it wasn't really like a hard decision for me. I know what it comes with. I know the risk of doing it young, but I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like, I don't want to do anything else. So I don't care, like natty, I just want something that's gonna like push me, like push my limits. That's what I want. I want to max myself out as a human. So taking a little bit of test wasn't even a question for me. It's just like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. And I had everything else maxed out though at a young age. Like, I wasn't just some kid who, I love lifting. Like, I had been lifting since I was 12. So that was 19. So I had that chunk of, I know it's not a long time, but it's a good chunk of time.
You were big.
Yeah.
You were still big. I
Yeah,
don't know if people realize that. Like
Yeah.
before you started, you were big.
Yeah,
You
and
thick.
it wasn't like, everything else was out of line in my life. Like I was on top of sleep, I was on top of food, I was on top of training, everything, like supplements outside of gear, like everything was maxed out for the most part. Like I was on top of everything. So I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is my passion. This is what I want. I want to push myself. I want to see what I can do. And I definitely don't regret it.
It's also important to note the sport that you were looking at and the bodybuilders you were looking at, they were using performance enhancing drugs, and it's not tested for in the particular bodybuilding shows that you're going to and the particular powerlifting competition. So I think, when people kind of think about these things, there's so many different layers to like how you're going to use them, what are you going to use them for.
Right.
We hear so many people, they're like, oh, if I was going to have a movie role and I was going to make a lot of money, like people are always incentivized by money. It's such a weird thing to have that be the only thing that you would risk your health for. Like if people think steroids are really unhealthy, you hear them say that all the time. For a movie role, I would do that. I would look like Thor and I would go all in.
You think you would.
Right. You think that you would, but also like it's kind of cool to do stuff regardless of money. So if it's a passion for you, if it's something that you enjoy, something that you like, not necessarily the steroids, but the steroids come along with the game of bodybuilding. I mean, let's face it, they've been in bodybuilding for 40 years, 50 years. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been there for a long time. And it's been in powerlifting. It's been in strength sports. It's been in strongman competitions. It's just like been around for a really long time.
What's up, Power Project family? It's time to stop dressing like you're a fucking preschooler and step your game up by checking out Viore clothing. Now, I'm not one to talk. I wear a fucking pink hat that has a dog on it, but at the end of the day, at least my shirt and shorts are popping. So head to Viore because they have great stuff for your top and your bottom. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yes, you guys got to head over to viore.com/power project. That's VUORI.com/power project, and you guys will automatically receive 20% off your order. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to the podcast.
I think just touching on the PEDs, like just for dudes my age, because they like I get so many different questions of like just people being so quick to like just jump on tests and do all this crazy stuff and put stuff in their body. It's like I just want to make it clear, like I had a sit down with myself mentally and was like, is this worth it? Is this what I want to do? And it's not like, you gotta, I feel like when you're young, you have to play your cards right. Like, it's not like I'm just right out the gate, I'm blasted, I'm taking all the compounds you could think of. Like, one or two, milk it out as long as you can. And then when the time comes that you need whatever it is you need on top of that, then I'm prepared for that. But it's not like I just used all my cards and was like, oh, this is like, I didn't just aggressively go into this. Like I sat down, I thought about it. I'm like, this is what I love. I'm going to do this as long as I can. So I want to be competitive.
You didn't just flip a coin and you have people that are talking to you about what to take, when to take, how much to take, and so forth.
Yeah, like there's a lot more thinking that goes into that decision. And I know a lot of people are going to see this and be like, oh, he's this or that. He's whatever. Like, I don't care. This is what I wanted to do. And I know the consequences that come with it. But if I didn't put on any muscle or get strong, like I feel like all the stereotypes, not that it matters, but like you wouldn't even know I'm doing, like, I'm just, that's why I take pride in being a calm, happy guy, because all the negative shit that came, the stereotypes that I knew were out there from baseball and sports that they get. Like anytime you get mad, it's like, oh, steroids. It's like, no.
Roid rage.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I just try to be calm and let people know like my why as to why I decided to do this. I'm not just like jabbing myself and trying to get jacked for the gym. Like I have long-term goals that I want to accomplish by a certain amount of, like, by an age that are important to me. But it might just be because I don't have too much experience with different compounds. Like I'm not out here taking Tren or anything crazy like that by any means, but I think I really don't think they're amazing. Like I I think the main thing that allowed me to make improvements is like food and just the basic shit that everybody is going to tell you. But yeah, I didn't see, like, obviously it's going to help recovery, everything. But like this last off season, I wasn't even taking gear. Like I wasn't using anything. I was basically natty, and I just maxed out food and sleep, and that got me to 240 without,
Oh shit. Okay.
yeah, that got me to 240 without any gear. So that just showed me, okay, I'm only going to use this when these things are maxed out and when I need them. Like I have every other box checked, the pharmacology side or whatever you want to call the things hasn't been checked. So now that I'm doing a prep and I'm going to be competing against people, like I don't want to be behind the eight. I want to be checking every box.
Everyone else in the NPC is going to be doing the same shit.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't want to leave that box unchecked. I just want enough. I'm confident in the things I've kind of mastered down, which is training and sleep. I'm big on those two. So I just need, in my mind, just a little bit to add on top. And I didn't notice anything crazy besides more muscle fullness. Like when I'm not on it, the muscle fullness, that like big full pumps you get, those kind of diminish. But besides that, like I don't really notice a difference. It could be genetic, but I really don't notice much besides a little bit of strength, but nothing crazy. Like I could still probably hit the same numbers. It's really just the look, the fullness look kind of goes away, but that's it. So I'm sure there's other compounds out there that I'll try and I'll have a different opinion. But as far as just like test, no, not much. Like maybe I'm not taking enough to be able to tell, but I don't think it's, in my head, it's just something I need to add to have that, all those three things put together to be able to recover, sleep, get the look that I want on stage. And then after, I don't like in an off season, maybe, I don't know what I even plan to do yet, but I don't like, I think coming off, like Chris Bumstead, he's talked about it, like that is important. And that's something I am going to do like for as long as unless I can't, but that's something I'm going to always do. Like come off, do it the right way, and just a break. Like I don't see a reason to be on it all the time when it's not providing as much as I thought it would. Like there's no reason to be on it year round. I'm going to take breaks 100%.
I think a big thing that steroids do that maybe people don't maybe understand is they help a lot with mitigating the negative of training, the negative of the fact that maybe you didn't sleep as well, the negative of maybe you overate. Like it's going to help mitigate some of those maybe potential negative things that you might get from training. And obviously it's going to help on a positive side, but I think most of the net positive that you get is just from the mitigation of the negative. So it's not like you take it and all of a sudden it gives you, 40 or 50 pounds of strength, and it doesn't all of a sudden just give you like 30 or 40 pounds of muscle. It doesn't really work that way. And one of the best ways that it can work is for someone that's like trying to power lift that gets stronger as a result of taking performance enhancing drugs. What's kind of sitting in the background that people forget is a lot of times these athletes have gained weight. So sometimes people don't even understand, okay, I understand you didn't want to gain weight because you didn't want to gain fat. And if you take steroids, you can gain muscle and fat kind of same time. It's a little different, right? So I kind of understand that vantage point. But I would say that if somebody wanted to stay on the natty side, just explore gaining weight, just explore eating more. Like just try it. Like just do that first.
Yeah.
See what happens when you go from 198 to 220. But a lot of people, they're not willing to do it. They're not willing to take the time. They think they're going to be weaker in the higher weight class. Like this weight class is too big for me. But if you give yourself time, like our boy Sully did,
right?
He went from one weight class to another weight class to another weight class. I know eventually he made the choice that he made, but he did increase his body weight and he did increase his total over a period of time. So I think that's kind of a forgotten element. It's like you could just gain some weight and you'll be a lot stronger.
Right. And that's something I did do, like from probably like 15 to 18. Throughout all of high school, like I've tried the dirty bulk. I've tried the clean bulk. I've tried keto. I've tried all these the vertical diet. I've tried it all, and you know, I get what I want out of it. And then when it's time to make the decision I did, then that's what we're on. But yeah, I think just using calories and food alone, like that could go a long way. That's why when people are so quick to jump to it and they don't have a specific goal or they're not seeing it through, it's like,
yeah,
just eat. Literally just eat.
Let me ask you more. Peeps, we love bringing you all this fitness information, and we also want to help bring that information to more people. So if you could help us out, hit that red subscribe button and then hit the notification bell, and we'll continue to bring you the heat. And I won't whisper in your ear. Talk to you guys later.